Hello everyone and welcome back to Cities by Steven. You're talking to Steve, and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button, get that bell notification on too, so you don't miss out on the next episode of Brockton County, an Ontario themed city. And make sure to hit the like button too. The like button helps the channel a lot. I hope you liked last episode where we built the entrance to the port, and as well as a revitalized beginning of the express collector system. Bit of a change of pace of an episode. And I think it's a bit shorter than normal, but this whole week's gonna be a bit shorter than normal because I'm cramming a lot in this week because we had an extra video on Sunday. So if you missed that, don't forget to go back, look at my channel, and you'll find the Sunday video where we kind of just filled in some residential gaps in the north of the city. And oh, what an amazing shot to, start off today's episode. So let's go to our better shot of the city, which is this interchange we just built. So it is kind of spaghetti-like, kind of functional. So it works out great. I'm pretty sure I covered all my bases. I'm recording this right after the other one. If not, we might find out today. Or, it might have been in the comments from the last video if I did. But regardless, we are going to start the port today. So we're going to really increase the city's traffic through here. And one thing that we really need to start off today's episode with is planning, and then we might get to the building tomorrow. But port planning. So, looking at how the port will kind of sit in the city, we might want to think about getting some breakwaters. I'm sure the waters will be rather busy out this way, yeah. So really quickly, I was trying to build a bit of a cardinal system through here, and realistically this is what it would be. So north, west, I forgot to actually name these. I did it the other day. And east and south. All right, so that's kind of what we're looking at in the city if we're looking at realism. But if we are kind of looking for more simplicity, we're looking at the city this way. The city is situated on a fairly simple north-south grid. All right, anyway, so just a little sidebar, I guess. So the thing about this port is it's kind of built into a hill. It's a bit difficult to deal with when you do that. However, what we are doing thematically is that this is the city's new port. And the city's old port was in here, but since times have changed, they wanted to move the cargo express systems, or the cargo systems off this way. So one thing I want to do to start off today's episode is to look at these shipping routes that we have. So I have the mod that allows me to draw in ship paths. So we're just going to go into this. And we're just going to connect up to this one, and we're going to simply just draw a path connection out through here, because I want ships to be able to dive into here, and I don't want the cruise ships to kind of interfere. But since we're going to be looking at some things, we're going to need to do some terraforming as well. So we see this jut out of this island. Now this isn't exactly the best thing. So what I'm sure the city would have done is they probably would have done a bit of a coffer dam between these two areas and then here when they were dredging out this area, or maybe that was way too expensive and they just managed to wing it. I really don't know how ports are made. I am not a port engineer, I guess. But let's do some dredging of the land. And let's just cut out all of this. Probably should have been on pause while we were doing that. And then we're also going to trim off this island a bit. All right, and to make it a bit more realistic, what we're going to do is just smooth it out a little bit. Let's go a bit more. And let's actually go from here. We'll smooth it down like that. Okay, I'm not sure how realistic of an island that is, but it kind of works. And then this wouldn't be that sharp, so we'll have to just smooth things out a little bit, All right, so now we're going to be looking at the topography here. So pretty simply, what we could do is just line up the port things straight and just have them roll in here. But what I'm thinking is we get some cutouts of water, and we get ports inside of those cutouts. We're gonna get maybe like 2, and then we'll have a flat one somewhere as well, I think. Yeah, or maybe we might have to do it the other way, which might not be as realistic. But yeah, you know, have the cutout going this way. So then I guess technically ships would be coming in everywhere. But the reason why I'm kind of thinking about this is because something I didn't do yesterday is we didn't get a rail connection in, and that's something that I really wanted to make sure we got in today. So let's just go over here. So this is our rail system. Pretty simply, what we need to do in today's episode is get a connection over here, bring it along, and then probably get a second kind of pull through system on this side. So instead of messing with this junction, which probably would be the way to go if we were thinking about some realism. I mean, this train could probably just cut through these ones as long as we had a really good train traffic driver. Yeah, I mean, that would turn into quite the mess otherwise. Yeah, so let's go after this junction because we haven't built out this way yet. And let's just get a simple, let's make sure we're on the ground. Make sure you do bending off, like road bending when you're doing trains, because it's a bit more realistic to have them a bit tighter. All right, and then we're gonna go around this lake. Or maybe it's a tailing pond or something, we don't know. And we gotta make sure we're at least a full train length away. So I'm actually just gonna play the game until we get a train just about at that node. Yeah, so I think this is probably good enough. And let's go straight. And then onto the curve. Let's try this one. Oh, no, okay. This train would take quite the sharp turn. So I would love it if we could get it to have a nice big curve before connecting up. Nice. And then let's just make sure that it's connected, because you got to make sure that there's actually the existence of rails. Otherwise it's not actually connected. All right, so let's just grab these two and we're just going to pull them out like this, and then we're going to hold Alt down with move it. And we're just going to change some things up a little bit to stretch out this whole rail a bit cleaner. There we go. It's looking a bit nicer. There we go. So it's a pretty nice little slope here. And then just looking at this node here, what we're going to do is we're going to go into our network multi-tools. We're going to go into this, the set slope mode, and we're going to go right from this node to node. So there is a bit of a funkiness. So we just click that. 0.8% grade. I think all you train enthusiasts would be pleased with that grade. So, oh, look at that one, 0. I mean, how could you complain about that grade, right? Oh, it's like it was planned or something. It wasn't. Just to clarify. All right, so we'll just do this, smooth some things out. Yeah, this might be a little bit of a dangerous rail. Maybe things have changed since this lake was built, or maybe it is just a tailing pond. Why don't we kind of go with that flow a little bit, and we'll try to fill it in a touch, because first of all, when I made these lakes, I was really rushing to get the map built, because if you're new to the channel, my old map kind of just died on me, which I think I know what to fix now, so we might go back to that soon. Kind of split the series up a little bit, or split the week up. And when it came to things far away from where I was going to build the downtown core, I got really lazy and just, you know, dug a giant hole like that for a lake. So, fun things. All right, so we're going to bring this rail right through here, probably under the road. and we'll bring it right alongside this road, and we'll bring it right down. So if we're thinking about where that is going to be, it might as well just cut right down into here. Oh man, this is going to cause quite the issue with holy moly, trying to get around this rail line. But if we want it to be any remote realistic, it would need to have the longest probably route, wouldn't it? It couldn't even have a sharp turn. I mean, that would be quite the sharp turn for a train. I'm sure I could do it, but I mean, this, if we get it over here, we might be able to, if we have it in like a tunnel going into the port. So we'll see. So this is why we split up this episode into two, or sorry, this build into two, because I want to talk things through like this, you know. All right, so we are going to try and dive in right around here. All right, and then let's look at how things played out. And we just need to go into our network multi-tool. We're gonna go here, all the way back over to here. We're gonna look at some things. So yeah, there is a bit of a slope here, so we're just gonna click enter, and it's gonna level it all out. All right, so this train comes flying straight through here. We might need to get it to dip. Oh, you know what? I don't think I actually leveled these roads. I mean, for me, it was like 10 minutes ago. For you guys, it was a whole day ago. There we go. Okay, so could either we could try to get this to dip down a bit. No. I'm thinking we can go over top instead of going under. We can try to go over top right here, maybe. Okay, maybe I should have looked at doing that. Sorry for all of the mouse movements there. It's just kind of how I build. All right, so let's go over the top. So that means we're just gonna have even higher of a grade to come down on. But I think that's the fun of it, right? We're gonna have quite the challenging little build here. All right, so we're gonna go elevated. And you know what, I can always sink this down a little bit, so let's just go up to about 7, I guess, and then let's go straight right over top, about there, also 7. Let's just make sure that this is actually the same height as this. There we go. And those cars are actually over top of it. Okay, well, there we go. So we're gonna go down into here. We're gonna go into the ground mode. I don't know. And we're just gonna click that. And then, actually, you know what? I should have done something a bit differently. Let's take all this out. And since we pretty much know that this is all flat anyways, what I'll do is I will get this. Let's go into 180 degrees. And we'll just try and get a nice little connection up like that. So it swoops a bit, adds some interest to the area. All right, so is that slope though actually okay? Let's try and make this part a bit smoother. All right, and then we'll go into elevated and we'll upgrade this piece and this piece, okay. And then we're gonna go back to our network multi-tool, grab the slope tool, and we'll slope it pretty much all the way to about here maybe. We'll see what grade that gives us, 7% or 0.7%. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And then let's actually go back to that. Okay, it was one of these two. I'm gonna just go back a little bit. Just make sure that this is actually at a proper grade. Uh-oh. We have a bit of a glitch. So I'm just gonna grab move it here. And there we go. All right. Uh-oh, we have a bit of a glitch. There we go. Uh-oh. We're just gonna chase ourselves, aren't we? Yeah, we're chasing ourselves. That's okay. All right. We fixed it. We fixed the glitch. Now, we need to figure out how we're going to get this rail line into port. Well, we're going to probably just go down like so. And let's try and come right beside the road here. And yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll try to hit home on this one. All right. And then we're actually just going to grab this and we're going to say get to that height. And then we'll go into our network multi-tool. We'll go from here. There we go. All the way to here. Okay, so this is quite the slopiest of rails. 3.7 isn't horrible. You want to keep it below 2.5, I think, for trains. But you know what? This actually gives us some opportunity to go underneath here as well. All right, so I'm gonna stretch a little bit. All right, let's dive into this. All right, will ya? All right, so let's say I'll write 3 more times. I'm going to want to have a train cargo hub here, as well as that boat cargo. I don't think it's necessary, but I think what we'll do is we'll have this a bit over here, and this will be like the furthest extent, the furthest reach of the cargo hub. I mean, we could also actually get it more on something like this, and that could actually be a better angle for the train. Yeah, and then we'll have the cargo rail hub. We might not actually have room for that. Okay, so let's just grab this tool. Let's go with the leveling tool. Let's choose this one here for an arbitrary reason. And we're just going to kind of do this to it. And that's pretty good. I'm gonna let the game play out really quickly because I need the water in there if I want to get a key and stuff. All right, so we might see some like massive flooding in this area. Yeah, the water's going crazy over here. All right, while we're doing that, I'm gonna have a sip of water. All right, so now that the water is actually in there, I'm gonna stop. And I know it's not actually leveled out, but I want to get the key in there, and we'll go with, that's not the keys. That's not the keys either. Where are the keys? They're over here. Well, these are the new ones. We could just go with the older ones. I like the older ones because they're a bit more like industrial looking. Yeah, here we go. And let's bring it down to about here. Okay, let's just do this. We'll go with nodes here. I'm just going to select them all. And we'll say, you know, the height of that one works. All right, then I'm going to grab this one. Oh, no, undo. Oops. All right, and we're just going to level that one out. And then we're going to grab this one, and we're just going to stretch it out a little bit more. All right, so now that we have all of those relatively in the same place, let's get this bad boy over here. Let's anarchy that in. Okay, we don't actually need the shipper to function at the moment, because what I really want is just the building. And we're just going to swoop that down. We might need to move George Street a little bit. We'll do it slowly with node controller, or not the node controller, move it. And this way we get to keep the road relatively clean. All right. So this way the rail is going to be kind of coming right in on this port, and then we need to get it to the same height as this node here. All right, so we need to redraw George Street for sure. So move it George Street over here. Now George Street is a major street in the city, so I don't want to change it too much. But sometimes drastic things call for drastic measures, you know? Okay, so this rail is going to cause some issues, I guess. This is kind of what I'm getting at. All right, so now let's go back to cargo rail. And let's do this one here. We'll click home first, and we'll go right up to there, and we'll connect up. Okay, so now that we have this in place, this water should level out soon, and we'll see if we are a bit too high. I mean, I don't think it really matters the height of the port itself, because in all honesty, that's what this is for, right? Uh-oh. Oh yeah, I mean, that makes sense. We might have some accidents because we messed around with that. So I guess I'll just let the game play out, because I want the water to kind of get back to normal-ish levels. All right, and we might have to just delete that. And maybe we can stretch it out a little bit. I don't know, but I want to get a couple more in here, and then we'll kind of look at ending the episode off, I guess. But we need to figure out actually how this rail line is going to play in with the road, because this is how the rail will have to be, but it doesn't mean, does it mean, sorry, that that's just the way the port has I mean, yeah, we can't really bring this whole system over here, because then the rail will be way too sharp. What if we move the whole system over? So let's select everything that we see here. Let's see if we can do this. Yeah, I mean, this is quite the sharp little turn here. So we can actually change that if we grab our segments. Holy cow. Let's actually undo that. Actually not too bad. It's still pretty sharp, but I mean, trucks will just have to remember that it's a heck of a sharp turn. Or they can just use the collector, you know? That's what the collector's for. And they hop into here, and oh no, the city's flooded! Run away, folks! Oh man. It's a disaster. Disaster, I tell you. Okay, you know what we actually don't have in the city? Is those pumping trucks. So why don't we just plop one down temporarily during this build? And we'll place it down right here, and we'll just hook it up, and then we'll move it. Whoa. Alright. Go, you little pumping trucks. You must use your pumps to suck up the water. Alright, well, that's that, I guess. Alright, so this swings out into here, so I guess we won't have a cargo hub, but it doesn't mean we can't get a cargo hub out over here somewhere as like, maybe it's like a bit of a staging area, but that'll be for another build. Alright, so we are gonna go into Industrial Road, ground level. We'll bring it out a touch. That's not the Industrial Road. All right, and then we need the Industrial Road straight, and we'll go right here. Okay, we'll get this to that height, get this to that height, and we'll get that to that height. All right, and then we'll just use the make connections, which is create curve. There we go. Can I? No, that's not what I want. I think it would be create connection. No, I guess it would be that one, but I think I'm looking for the tool that makes it like extra long. But I guess, whoa, I guess what we can do is maybe just swing this one out. And swing this one out as well. Holy cow, my hands are off. Okay, and now we'll just grab the... There we go. And we'll just kind of do something like that. And then what we'll do is we'll just use some move it magic. Okay, George Street is getting in the way. George, come get your street. It's in the way. Alright, let's just grab George Street again. There you go, George Street. Just get out of here. Don't worry, that's not gonna stay like that. George Street will stay. That street will not stay like that. Alright, so let's just, holy cow, Steven. Your brain is not working today, Steven. No, it is not, Steven. Okay, we'll get that connection into there. Okay, and now what we need to do is, I mean, this isn't perfect yet either. So I guess I was jumping the gun. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good. But since this comes with a road, what we need to do is we need to grab the network multi-tool. We can go to this unlock segment. We're going to click this and we're going to click that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to change it up into a one-way road. So what we could do is we could just use the one-way 1U roads, but I never want to risk using those. So we're going to go with the, just, you know, a classic City Skylines build, the industrial road. And then what we'll do is we will just grab that industrial road, bring it right to here, and connect up. All right, then what we'll do is we'll just flip them around, and then we'll get a nice basic connection like that. Grab, move it, stretch it out like so, and then we'll have a nice simple entrance and exit, you know? So I guess we'll just do something like that, and then we'll just do this. And then we'll just move this node up. And these nodes should all be at the same height. Did you not want to be at this height either? There we go. And then the trucks can either decide whether or not they want to go more into the port, or if they would prefer, which I'll allow, they can go back out to the wider world. Okay, and we'll just get this to connect a bit sharp like that. I hope trucks can make this turn. Maybe I should have just done something simpler like that, and then we'll just use the surface painter. Whoa. Yeah, I mean, that looks a bit better, doesn't it? All right, and then what we need to do is just edit this system a little bit more. Yeah, because this needs to be a bit more like that. So that means that needs to be like that. And then, pretty much what we need to do here is just make sure that they know that they have to go into those lanes, and then the only time they can switch is right here. And then I want to lock them in for the rest of it, because right here, okay, no, that's not exactly what's happening. This guy can go into there, this guy's going here, this guy's going here, this one's doing something like that, and these guys, okay, let's actually redo this, because I want that there, this guy here, and here, here, over here, and over here. There we go. So this should be technically working now. And now that we have this in place, we just need to tweak the rest of it. So I just need to do a bit of maneuvering here. So, you know, Alt is going to be your best friend with Move It in this situation. It's an alternative best friend. Okay, that was the worst stroke I've ever made in my life. Just scooch these over. Okay, so it's not going to be perfect, but because it's a little tricky, because this just looks a bit different than I was hoping it would. But anyways, we're good over here. That looks pretty good. And now we're gonna try to go underneath right over here. So let's go into our For You road. We're gonna click a node in right here. We're gonna go straight, and we'll try and use it as a bit of a marker. So what I'll do here is I'll just click home. We'll bring it right across like that. And then we'll draw in a line like so. Like so. All right. And the reason why we're doing that is because we're going to utilize this land as much as we can. And we will just grab this road and we're just going to swing this out. And this is going to be for some services and whatnot. And we'll also get a nice little connection up right here. Just going to grab this railroad piece and just move it back ever so slightly. Okay, this is just a touch more steep than I was expecting it to be, so we'll just lower it down a little bit. All right, I'm just gonna grab it to about here, and I'm just gonna make a bit of a slope. Okay, we're good. And one more time, just gonna lower this one a touch. All right, so we didn't actually need to get this connection in right away, but that's fine. So now we're into the heart of the port, and we got the hard parts done. I mean, George Street's just a disaster. Let's just try and fix this as best we can. But I guess in a way it does keep everything separate, so. And one more time. Okay, looking pretty good, looking pretty good. Let's do some smoothing. Whoa, undo. It was way too high. Alrighty. So let's take off the land here, and let's, well, first of all, since this is part of the port, it'll need to be a bit lower. There we go. And now we can just try and finish off this little area here. I mean, this is going to be the end of the port, so I think it will, at least. I think maybe if anything we get a couple warehouses off of here, like some off, like, you know, like there's theaters off Broadway. This is gonna be like some off Broadway, off port type of industrial zone. I don't know. Let's just try to make some funny jokes. Yeah, I mean, we can probably squeeze like 2 warehouses in here. Okay, and then what we can do then instead right around here is we can just try to finish off this little build that we've done with a bit of an iron fence. Let's go with the oil industry fence, and we'll turn off guidelines. Go to about here. Okay, let's actually go right up to here, and then we'll follow along George Street. All right. You know, I was thinking about getting some better port assets from the workshop. Perhaps I will do that for the next one. Perhaps not, because I am trying to keep this series a little bit vanilla still. You know, like, I'm not trying to get like a ton of assets, but only some assets that I think are like absolutely necessary. And you know, the port assets I do think are some of the more necessary ones, like some cargo hubs, like cargo container stuff, you know. All right, so let's get a couple trees in here, spruce things up a little bit. Get it? Because spruce trees. Okay, so we do have a bit more time, and I think what we'll do then is look at how we're going to do the other ones. Okay, so let's go into this mode. We'll go into the smoothing tool, and we'll just try and smooth things out a little bit. So now we're going to be coming down with this road. Down with the road! And I guess I want to try and keep them somewhat parallel. so let's grab the key. Let's bring it about this distance. And then, oh nice, I have key anarchy. I didn't realize that. Okay, and then we'll bring it out to about here. And then we'll bring this one over here, down to the original shoreline, out about that distance, into there, down, then to the original shoreline. So what I'm doing is I'm creating these wharfs, or like, yeah, I think that's kind of the right term. All right, so I'm actually just going to have to grab the nodes for what? I'm clicking control. Okay, let's just grab nodes then. And I just want to grab these ones. And I'm actually just going to need to move. Oh my gosh, these darn things. Okay, I think that's a proper distance now. Okay, and then I need to grab all the nodes. Uh-oh. Okay, so let's grab... Okay, this is gonna get a bit tricky, so I'm just gonna try to do these ones, and we'll say get to the same height as that one. There we go. And then I'm just gonna do it again. This time I can go back to a node, say like over here. All right, so we should be at the same height. And now we need to simply get rid of these ones. So what we'll do is we'll go down to a smaller brush size. I guess a bit bigger. Oh, it was a bit too big. And we'll select that height. And I'm just going to pause the game while we're doing this. Okay, what's happening here? I think we need land out this way now. Okay, and then now we can grab this wall and we'll bring it out to about here. Okay, and then we'll grab the node and we'll say get to the same height as that one. There we go. Okay, and then now what we'll do is we'll come back to this. Oh no. Looks like there's a couple of them that are having the same issue. Okay, so we'll let the water just play out really quickly. I'll have to redraw those two. There we go. There we don't go. Okay, so let's grab the land filling tool again. There we go, and we'll just bring this one out to an arbitrary distance. I don't think that one was really working either. Okay, one way we can do this, I think, is by using these ones. Oh, you can't upgrade, I forgot about that. Alright, well we're gonna have to redo this whole section then, and that's fine. So we'll just grab this tool, we'll wait for all the water to kind of dissipate. Whoa. Undo. Hey, Mr. Blimp. Alrighty, so if the water could ever leave, that'd be fantastic. Alright, and then let's just try and flatten out some of this land. So I'm just going to take it back farther than what we need because it's going to help us with leveling everything out. Because the ground around here, around when you're doing kind of the keys, it's always a bit funky, you know? Alright, so now that the water is kind of, you know, done freaking out a little bit, you know? Holy cow. Let's grab the land tool again because we've actually gone over the time. I told myself I wasn't gonna this week, but this week I just want to finish this key stuff and then we'll end it. Okay, so let's just take it out this way, there, across. We'll bring it all the way over to something like that. And I guess this is gonna be the end. Okay, I would prefer if these were a bit straighter, but let's just try and move them ourselves. I guess that's okay. All right, and then we'll grab all these nodes that we just made, and we'll say, you get to this height. There we go. All right, so we're just gonna flatten out the land around here and then, or like clean up the land, and then we'll call it a day, folks. Alrighty. There we go. And then let's just use the sloping tool and we'll slope down. And we'll have to blend it into this hill a bit better. But that's a tomorrow thing, because what we were working on today was just getting in, like, you know, the main infrastructure here. So I think we did a fairly good job. Things are going to need to be cleaned up around this little system here, but that is for tomorrow's episode, where we will be reviewing some of this stuff. And yeah, so now that we're on 3-speed, this should be working technically. So we'll see if we have cars using it or not. Oh, we have our first one. It's a police car. So there's already crime happening at the ports. But I hope you liked today's episode, folks, and I'll catch you next time. Tomorrow's episode, where we will be detailing more of the port. So let's just try and capture everything we've done. Talk to you soon. Peace out.